Latrobe, Pennsylvania. The last practice of training camp. A 300-pound tackle gets driven backwards and lands on the left leg of the most decorated quarterback of his generation. Trainers run out. They strap a bag of ice around his shin the size of a car battery. And then Aaron Rodgers stands up, gets the leg wrapped, and walks back onto the field without missing a single rep. He is 42 years old. In December, he turns 43. 2 days earlier, standing at a podium in that same camp, somebody asked him the only question anyone actually wants answered. Is this really the last one? And he did not hedge. He did not smile. He said, "Yeah, this is it. Zero debate. Zero." That should end the story. A 4-time most valuable player says he is done. So he is done. Except for one problem. The men who share a locker room with him do not believe a word of it. Start with exactly what he said, because the wording matters. He signed a 1-year deal to come back. He said he had already thought last season might be the end. Then Mike McCarthy got the head coaching job in Pittsburgh, and he talked to his wife, and she told him he could do 1 more year and see how it goes. That is not the language of a man who has been counting down. That is a man who kept finding reasons to stay. And then he said something stranger. Asked whether it feels different, knowing this is the last one, he answered that last year felt way more dramatic to him. This year, he said, "I don't feel anything." Read that twice. A 21-year career, one of the great arms in the history of the sport, walking into his final August, and the feeling he reports is nothing. Retiring men are usually sentimental. Sentiment is how you know they mean it. He is not sentimental. He is calm. And calm is exactly what a man sounds like when he has not actually closed the door. His teammates noticed. DK Metcalf was asked whether he takes the retirement talk seriously, and he did something almost nobody does on camera about a future Hall of Famer. He said no. His words, "People just say things at the beginning of the year, without knowing how the year could go," and then he laid out the scenario, and the scenario is not stupid. Suppose the offensive line holds. Suppose Rodgers barely gets hit all season. Suppose the ball comes out clean, and the record is good, and the body feels the way it felt at 35. Metcalf's point is that a man in that situation does not walk away in January. He looks around the huddle and says, "Let's go do another one." That is not a receiver disrespecting his quarterback. That is a receiver who has watched this exact movie before, and who knows the ending changes based on how the season goes. So which is it? Is Rodgers telling the truth, or is he telling the truth as of July? And there is a reason to take Metcalf's side that goes beyond a hunch, because this league has run this experiment before. February 2022. Tom Brady announces his retirement. 40 days later, he unretires and plays another season. And his own explanation of the decision was that it was never binary. At one stage, in his words, 55% yes and 45% no. Not a door closing. A dial. But the case that should stop Aaron Rodgers cold is the other one. March 2008. Brett Favre announces his retirement from the Green Bay Packers. That announcement is the entire reason the job opened up. Favre then unretired and played a season for the New York Jets. He retired again in February 2009, said publicly he was not coming back, and in August of that year signed with the Minnesota Vikings, where he promptly put together one of the best statistical seasons of his life at 40. Understand what that means. The single greatest beneficiary in NFL history of a quarterback's retirement announcement not being true is Aaron Rodgers. He got his career out of one. He has seen up close, from the bench, exactly how much an August statement is worth? To answer that, you have to go back 21 years to a green room in New York where a kid from California sat and waited while his name was not called. 23 picks came and went in the 2005 draft before his name did. San Francisco, his home state team, took someone else first overall. He fell to 24. Green Bay took him. And then Green Bay sat him down behind Brett Favre and left him there for 3 entire seasons. 3 years of carrying a clipboard. 3 years of taking reps with the scout team. Most quarterbacks drafted that high never survived that. He came out of it as the most efficient passer the league had ever measured. 4 Most Valuable Player awards: 2011, 2014, 2020, and 2021. Only Peyton Manning has more: 10 Pro Bowls, 475 touchdown passes in a Green Bay uniform alone, which is more than Favre threw there, in the building where Favre is a religion. He didn't just replace a legend, he outthrew him in his own house. And there is one night that matters more than the rest of it, for reasons that have nothing to do with Green Bay. February 2011. Super Bowl 45. The Packers against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Rodgers went 24 of 39, 304 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He was named the most valuable player of the game, and he took a championship out of the hands of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sit with the geometry of that for a second. The single greatest night of Aaron Rodgers' career was a night he spent beating the franchise whose uniform he is now wearing. He will play his last season in the stadium of the team he broke, in front of the fans who watched him do it. 15 years later, they will be cheering for him. And the man calling the plays that night on the Green Bay sideline, the man who designed the game plan that beat Pittsburgh, he is now the head coach of Pittsburgh, which is where this gets complicated. Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy spent 13 seasons together in Green Bay. The record is enormous: 125 wins, 9 playoff appearances, 4 NFC championship games, 6 division titles, 1 Super Bowl. By any normal measure, that is one of the great coach-quarterback partnerships in modern football. It also ended badly. Green Bay fired McCarthy in 2018 after a second straight year out of the playoffs, and the reporting from inside that building was ugly. Sources described the relationship as frayed, if not broken. One account had Rodgers telling people that McCarthy had one of the lowest football IQs of any coach he had ever had. That is not a disagreement about scheme. That is contempt, and it leaked. In the years after, both men were publicly gracious about each other, the way people are when the wound has scarred over. Rodgers has said he made a point of restarting the relationship, that they had a good conversation in 2022 when McCarthy was in Dallas, and that he simply wanted to see where the man was at. 7 years after the divorce, they signed back up together. But between Green Bay and Pittsburgh, there is a chapter he probably wishes he could delete. New York. In 2023, the Jets traded for him and sold a fan base an entire season on his arrival. Opening night. 4th play from scrimmage. He went down with a torn Achilles, and that was the year. 4 snaps, and a franchise's whole plan gone. He came back in 2024 at 41, on a leg that had been rebuilt, and the tape showed it. He couldn't move the way he used to. A hamstring problem followed him through the season. The Jets finished 5-12 and missed the playoffs for the 14th consecutive year, and at the end of it, with a year still left on his contract, New York was done with him. That is the part of the story that makes the retirement question real. He has already been at the point where the league decided for him. He has already had a season taken away by his own body in the space of 4 plays. He knows exactly how little control he has over how this ends. Then Pittsburgh happened, and it happened fast. On January 12, 2026, the Steelers lost a wild card game to Houston, 30-6, a game where a defensive lineman ran back a fumble for a touchdown, and the whole thing was over by the third quarter. One day later, Mike Tomlin stepped down after 19 seasons. 2 weeks after that, on January 27th, the Steelers introduced Mike McCarthy as the 17th head coach in the history of the franchise. He is 62. He is a Pittsburgh native. He had spent the 2025 season out of football entirely after 5 years in Dallas. And he is only the fourth head coach the Steelers have hired since 1969, which tells you what kind of building he just walked into. Rodgers, meanwhile, was coming off a season most people had written off before it started. 3,322 yards, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 65.7% completions, his best since 2021. 29 sacks taken, his fewest in a full season since 2020. 16 starts, an AFC North title, a 7th straight winning season. He signed for 1 more year. He has described being coached by McCarthy again as, in his word, surreal. And here is the fact that makes this season more than a farewell tour, the one nobody puts in the headline. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 527 touchdown passes. That is 4th all time. Ahead of him, in 3rd, is Peyton Manning at 539. Do the subtraction. 12 touchdown passes ties Peyton Manning. 13 passes him. Last season, on a team nobody picked, at 41 years old, he threw 24. So unless something goes badly wrong, at some point in the middle of this season, probably in October, a 42-year-old man in a Pittsburgh uniform is going to throw a routine touchdown pass and move into 3rd place on the all-time list, ahead of Peyton Manning. And the only 2 names left in front of him will be Drew Brees at 571 and Tom Brady at 649. He is also 5th all-time in passing yards at 66,274. Now ask yourself the Metcalf question again. A man passes Peyton Manning in October. The team is winning. The leg feels fine. Does he retire in January? So here are the 2 honest readings, and both of them are defensible. Reading 1. He means it. He is 42. He has already had 1 season erased in 4 plays and 1 city give up on him. He came back for a specific reason. A coach he has unfinished business with, in a building that suits him. And when that is done, so is he. The flatness is not doubt, it is peace. He said 0 debate, twice, and men who are hedging do not repeat themselves. Reading 2. He means it today. Every quarterback who has ever said this out loud in August has said it while healthy, undefeated, and unhit. Brady said versions of it. Favre said versions of it, and then unretired. And then unretired again, in the very building where Rodgers was waiting behind him. If Pittsburgh is 9-4 in December and he has just passed Peyton Manning, the sentence changes. Not because he lied. Because January is a different question than July. Here is what makes it worth watching either way. For once, we do not have to guess. The man told us. Now his own locker room has told us they don't buy it. One of those 2 is going to be wrong in about 5 months, in public. So tell me which one you've got. Is this actually the end, or does he come back for 1 more? Put it in the comments with a reason, not just a name. And subscribe, because when he passes Peyton Manning in October, we are going to be right back here to talk about what that number actually means.